Today we will be going over the student safety contract. Students, you will be responsible for reviewing these rules and knowing them. You must pass the lab safety tests and have a signed safety contract on file in order to participate in any lab activity. The test is in Google Forms and you will be given time in class for the test. Please read and understand all of these rules. Number 1, conduct yourself in a responsible manner at all times in the lab. Number 2, follow all written and verbal instructions carefully. If you do not understand a direction or part of a procedure, ask the instructor before proceeding. Number 3, never work alone. No student may work in the laboratory without an instructor present. Number 4, when first entering the science room, do not touch any equipment, chemicals, or other materials in the laboratory area until you are instructed to do so. Number 5, do not eat food, drink beverages, or chew gum in the laboratory. Do not use laboratory glassware as containers for food or beverages. Number 6, perform only those experiments authorized by the instructor. Never do anything in the laboratory that is not called for in the procedures or by your instructor. Carefully follow all instructions, both written and oral. Unauthorized experiments are prohibited. Number 7, be prepared for your work in the laboratory. Read all procedures thoroughly before entering the laboratory. Number 8, never fool around in the laboratory. Horseplay, practical jokes, and pranks are dangerous and prohibited. Number 9, observe good housekeeping practices. Work areas should be kept clean and tidy at all times. Bring only your laboratory instructions, worksheets, and/or reports to the work area. Other materials such as books or cell phones should be stored in the classroom area. This goes for Chromebooks as well. Number 10, keep the aisles clear. Push your chair under the desk when not in use. Number 11, know the locations and operating procedures where appropriate for all safety equipment, including first aid kit, eyewash station, safety shower, fire extinguisher, and fire blanket. Know where the fire alarm and exits are located. The safety equipment, if you look around the room, you will find signs for each of these. First aid can be found in my desk as well as in the back prep room. The fire extinguisher and the fire blanket. The fire extinguisher is in the back room. The fire blanket, we do not have one at this time. There is one in the ag shop, but we do not have one in here. So either one of those answers on your test will be acceptable. The fire alarm is in the hallway. There's one by the back doors, and then there's one by the bathrooms. Waste containers, those are trash cans. And the exits are located at both sides of the room. Eyewash and safety shower are both in the back prep room. I will instruct you on how to use those if necessary. Number 12, always work in a well-ventilated area. Use the fume hood when working with volatile substances or poisonous vapors. Never place your head into the fume hood. Number 13, be alert and proceed with caution at all times in the laboratory. Notify the instructor immediately of any unsafe conditions you observe. Number 14, dispose of all chemical waste properly. Never mix chemicals in the sink drains. Sinks are to be used only for water and those solutions designated by the instructor. Solid chemicals, metals, matches, filter paper, and all other insoluble materials are to be disposed of in the proper waste containers, not in the sink. Check the label of all waste containers twice before adding your chemical waste to the container. Number 15, labels and equipment instructions must be read carefully before use. Set up and use the prescribed apparatus as directed in the laboratory instructions or by your instructor. Number 16, keep hands away from your face, your eyes, your mouth, and your body while using chemicals or preserved specimens. Wash your hands with soap and water after performing all experiments. Clean all work surfaces and apparatus at the end of the experiment and return all equipment clean and in working order to the proper storage area. Number 17, experiments must be personally monitored at all times. You will be assigned a lab station at which to work. Do not wander around the room, distract other students, or interfere with the lab experiments of others. Number 18, students are never permitted in the science storerooms or prep areas unless given specific permission by the instructor. Number 19, Know what to do if there's a fire drill during a lab period. Containers must be closed, gas valves turned off, fume hoods turned off, and any electrical equipment turned off. Number 20, handle all living organisms used in lab activities in a humane manner. Preserved biological materials are to be treated with respect and disposed of properly. Number 21, when using knives and other sharp instruments, always carry with the tips and points down and away from your body. Always cut away from your body, and never try to catch falling sharp instruments. Grasp sharp instruments only by their handles. Number 22, if you have a medical condition such as allergies, pregnancy, etc., check with your physician prior to working in the lab and be sure that you notify your instructor. Number 23, anytime chemicals, heat, or glassware are used, students will wear laboratory goggles. There will be no exception to this rule. Number 24, contact lenses may be worn provided adequate face and eye protection is provided by specially marked, non-vented safety goggles. The instructor should know which students are wearing contact lenses in the event of eye exposure to hazardous chemicals. Number 25, dress properly for lab activities. Long hair, dangling jewelry, loose or baggy clothing, all of those are hazardous. If you have long hair, it must be tied back. Dangling jewelry tucked in or taken off. Loose, baggy clothing must be secured. Shoes must also completely cover the foot. There are no sandals allowed during lab work. Number 26, lab aprons have been provided for your use and should be worn during lab activities. Number 27, report any accident such as a spill or breakage, or an injury such as a cut or a burn, even if it's minor. Report that to the instructor immediately, no matter how trivial it may appear. Number 28, my personal favorite. If you or your lab partner are hurt, immediately yell out, Code 1, to get the instructor's attention. But you can also just use my name. That will work to get my attention as well. Number 29, if a chemical splashes in your eyes or on your skin, immediately flush with running water from the eyewash station or safety shower for at least 20 minutes. Notify the instructor immediately. Number 30, when mercury thermometers are broken, the mercury must not be touched. Notify the instructor immediately. We shouldn't need to worry about this, but if you do run across mercury, please don't play with it. It's shiny, but don't play with it. Number 31, all chemicals in the laboratory are to be considered dangerous. Do not touch, taste, or smell any chemicals unless specifically instructed to do so. The proper technique for wafting chemical vapors will be demonstrated to you. Number 32, check the label on chemical bottles twice before removing any of the contents. Take only as much chemical as you need. Number 33, never return unused chemicals to their original containers. Just like you would never take the milk carton out at home and drink from it and then pour your leftovers back into it, we don't do that in here either. Number 34, never use your mouth to suction to fill a pipette. Use a rubber bulb or pipette pump. Number 35, when transferring reagents from one container to another, hold the containers away from your body, or even better yet, set them on the table. Number 36, acids must be handled with extreme care. You will be shown the proper method for diluting strong acids. We always add acid to water. Stir or swirl the solution. Be careful of the heat that is produced, particularly with sulfuric acid. Number 37, handle flammable hazardous liquids over a pan to contain spills. Never dispense flammable liquids anywhere near an open flame or source of heat. Number 38, never remove chemicals or other materials from the lab area. Number 39, take great care when transporting acids and other chemicals from one part of the lab to another. Hold them securely and walk carefully. Number 40, carry glass tubing, especially long pieces, in a vertical position to minimize the likelihood of breakage and injury. Number 41, never handle broken glass with your bare hands. Tell your teacher if something is broken and I will come clean it up. Use a brush and a dustpan to clean up the broken glass, and the broken glass needs to go in the designated cardboard box that says broken glassware. Inserting and removing glass tubing from rubber stoppers can be dangerous. Always lubricate glassware, tubing, thistle tubes, thermometers, etc. before attempting to insert it into a stopper. Always protect your hands with towels or cotton gloves when inserting glass tubing into or removing it from a rubber stopper. If a piece of glassware becomes frozen in a stopper, take it to your instructor for removal. 43. Fill wash bottles only with distilled water and use only as intended. Rinsing glassware and equipment is acceptable use, or adding water to a container. They are not water guns. Number 44. When removing an electrical plug from its socket, grasp the plug, not the electrical cord. Hands must be completely dry before touching an electrical switch, plug, or outlet. Number 45. Examine glassware before each use. Never use chipped or cracked glassware. Never use dirty glassware. Number 46. Report damaged electrical equipment immediately. Look for things such as frayed cords, exposed wires, and loose connections. Do not use damaged electrical equipment. Number 47. If you do not understand how to use a piece of equipment, ask the instructor for help. Number 48. Do not immerse hot glassware in cold water. It may shatter. Number 49. Exercise extreme caution when using a gas burner. Take care that hair, clothing, and hands are a safe distance from the flame at all times. Do not put any substance into the flame unless specifically instructed to do so. Never reach over an exposed flame. Light gas or alcohol burners only as instructed by the teacher. Number 50. Never leave a lit burner unattended. Never leave anything that is being heated or is visibly reacting unattended. See number 17. Always turn the burner or hot plate off when not in use. Number 51, you will be instructed in the proper method of heating and boiling liquids in test tubes. Do not point the open end of a test tube being heated at yourself or anyone else. Number 52, heated metals and glass remain very hot for a long time. They should be set aside to cool and picked up with caution. Use tongs or heat protective gloves if necessary. Number 53, never look into a container that is being heated. Number 54, do not place hot apparatus directly on the lab desks. Always use an insulating pad. Allow plenty of time for hot apparatus to cool before touching it. Number 55, when bending glass, allow time for the glass to cool before further handling. Hot and cold glass both have the same visual appearance. Determine if an object is hot by bringing the back of your hand close to it, but not touching it prior to grasping it. If you wear contacts, have any kind of allergy, such as insect stings, latex allergies, fruits, nuts, or if you are colorblind, be sure to check the boxes on the contract and make sure that your teacher is aware. Next, you will receive the paper copy to have signed and returned so that we can have one on file. You may not participate in any lab activities until that is complete. If you have any questions, please contact me.